Mecca gives you a sense of excitement, rawness in faith, in Iman, that other places can't do. So you'll find raw and madness in action sports, or your heart will start pumping or whatever, but the emotions that happen in Mecca are unique.
When you come, I want you to know that even on that day, the Prophet ﷺ didn't even come up to here. You know why? Because it's not about place, it's about time. And that's what we have to get rid of, the idea, creating these barriers, creating these false attachments to things. Connect to Allah, connect to Allah, connect to Allah. So here we're up here, and the Prophet ﷺ never came up here. We don't have a single narration that he came up here. Even on Arafah, it was at the bottom of Jabal Rahmah. He was so aware of that, of not getting people to be attached to things, that he told the people immediately, hey, all of Arafah is a mawqif. I just want to let you know, anywhere that you stand, because it's the moment here. It's the moment, and the moment is interesting as well. The Prophet ﷺ could have chosen an earlier time, a cooler time, but it starts at the most hottest time, all the way from Dhuhr. And the key moment is that ghurub al-shams, that all the way until the period of the sunset, you have to be here, even if it's for a few minutes, but you got to see that sun go. And if you stand here and you watch that sun go, and you feel that desperation, and that your whole moments are going, and what happens and takes over your body is something wallahi nobody can explain, you can only experience. That is when you are in that divine presence, you are in a connection. That's why I want you to be here to know. And I know it sounds harsh, but it's not something very special to worship Allah in this land. It's not. Because by Allah, if you can't worship Him in front of His house, the first house, the ancient house, then when are you going to worship Him? You must recognize that. And that humbles us, and we learn from the moments that we did, and we realize that, we can do this. So we just have to be able to have a self-sustaining system that's not entirely dependent upon absolute miracles going on. There are reasons why miracles are few and far between, that saints and awliya and these special people are few and far between, that the signs of the Day of Judgment are few and far between, that Tawbah ends when the world starts to collapse, because it's not difficult to worship Allah in those moments. It's normality which is difficult, it's boring which is difficult, it's 9 to 5 which is difficult, it's the rat race which is difficult. Our lives are very difficult. Wallah, this is not difficult. Did you imagine that you'd wake up 2 hours or 1.5 hours before Fajr? People can't even wake up for Fajr. What's happening there? Yeah? And it becomes the norm, and people start to enjoy it. And even the recitation isn't all that, and people are starting to enjoy it. But that goes to show that what we can do, who we really are, at our core, we are incredible examples of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's so proud of us in front of absolutely everything. So you have to live up to that. And that first step is recognizing yourself. And you've seen yourself in a special place, granted, but at least you've proven to yourself that you can do it. And now you've got to go back and continue. Because failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Self-respect is fundamental.